Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Read from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, 6th chapter, text 8 and 9. Jnana, Vijnana, Tript Atma, Kutasto, Vichetendriyaha, Yukta, Iti, Uchyate, Yogi, Sama, Lostrasma, Kanchanaha, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, Kutosto Vichitendriyaha, Kutasto Vichitendriyaha, Yukta Ityuchate Yogi, Yukta Ityuchate Yogi, Samalostrashma Kanchanaha, Samalostrashma Kanchanaha, Jnana, by acquired knowledge, Vijnana, and realized knowledge, Tripta, satisfied, Atma, a living entity, Kutastha, spiritually situated, Vichitta, Indriyaha, sensually controlled, Yuktaha, competent for self-realization. Iti, thus, Uchyate, it is said. Yogi, a mystic. Sama, equipoised. Loshtra, pebbles. Ashma, stone. Kanchanaha, gold. Translation, purport, His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones or gold, as the same. Okay, going Russian?
Yes.
Translated. Fast. Purport. Book knowledge without realization of the supreme truth is useless. This is stated as follows. Ataksi Krishna namati napeve kraimindriyai sevo mukhe hichivado svayam eva spuratyadha. No one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality and pastimes of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually situated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. Quoted from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu from Padma Purana. This Bhagavad-Gita is the science of Krishna consciousness. No one can become Krishna conscious simply by mundane scholarship. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person who is in pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna, because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. By realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. By transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his convictions, but by mere academic knowledge, one can be easily deluded and confused by apparent contradictions. It is the realized soul who is actually self-controlled, because he is surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he has nothing to do with mundane scholarship. For him, mundane scholarship or mental speculation, which may be as good as gold to others, are of no greater value than pebbles or stones. Text 9 also has no purport. Surin mitrari udasina Madhyasta dveshya bandhushu sadhushvapi shapapeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. A person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral, the mediators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners, all with an equal mind. Jnana vijnana triptatma kutasto vichitendriyaha yukta ityuchate yogi samalostrashma kanchanaha. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same. Surin mitra udasina adhyasta dveshya bandhushu sadhushapi chapapeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. A person is considered still further advanced when he regards honest well-wishers, affectionate benefactors, the neutral, the mediators, the envious, friends and enemies, the pious and the sinners, all with an equal mind. Omagyatimaranyasya gananchana salakyam chakshurunmilitam yena tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So there's a new chapter 6 of Bhagavad-Gita describing the yoga process, dhyana. This chapter is called Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana means absorption, meditation. Actually, yoga means meditation. Dhyana, dhyana tat katena manasa pashyanti yam yogina. Bhagavatam, it states that yoga means to absorb the mind, control the mind. So that's the beginning. So the practitioner of yoga, sadhaka, like we are the sadhakas for bhakti-yoga. So the mystic yogi sadhana is similar. Mind control, sense control. Yama, niyama, accepting favorable things, rejecting unfavorable things. Why? to become free of duality. We are here in this material world because we are so much deeply anchored, our consciousness, our mind, to the Prakriti, the material nature, to the sense objects, to feelings, to emotions, especially under the impression of the mind. As Krishna is pointing out in this chapter, in the before these verses, the mind is a great enemy, can also be a great friend. If the mind is not controlled, his enemy, number one, actually great enemy, because he's under the influence of lust, greed, anger, illusion, enviousness, seeing duality, accepting friendship cheaply, to emotion, to mutual emotions, often also becoming cheated, and he becomes enemy, becomes angry. Then he becomes more and more in this duality. Whom actually I can trust? Who is my friend? Who is my enemy? And here in this material world, everyone is confused in this duality. So therefore the yoga process is needed to purify the mind with the senses. Difficult to engage the sense, to just control the senses without mind. And it's difficult to control the mind without controlling the senses. So they go together. Therefore Prabhupada, he quoted this verse in the purport, Ataksi Krishna Namadi. It's very famous, he quoted very much, many times. Coming from Padma Purana, and Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is also quoting it. Where he explains we cannot understand the transcendence or the Lord who is always in the transcendental position with our material mind and the senses, because as material mind and senses can only perceive that on our dimension and level. Because we are earthly people, so we can see mostly things with earth, fire, with ether and air elements. We have already a problem. We can only learn see through hearing. Actually, the ether is a very important element because it transports the sound, Shabda, Sabda. Brahma Shabda. Therefore, the transcendental sound is transmitted by ether through the ear. So the real hearing, the real seeing starts with hearing, and actually self-control starts with hearing. That one becomes absorbed in attentive hearing from the proper source, authority. That's why in all yoga processes we have to accept a teacher, guru, who is self-realized, who is practiced, who is experienced in the process of what he teaches, bhakti. Either you're a bhakti-yoga, take shelter in a bhakti guru teacher, or you take shelter in an Astanga guru or mystical yoga teacher, and as described in the previous chapter 5, Krishna says we have to approach the spiritual master in a curious way, in a service attitude way, and asking questions from him. And then the self-realized person is able to reveal to you this knowledge. And then if this knowledge is revealed, of course it's not revealed to the foolish. Even if it is revealed, the foolish will not understand because he has no faith. That's why we have to first have some preliminary faith in the Vaishnava, in some devotees from whom we learn. So this is very essential. Adhau Guru Ashraya, to take shelter of spiritual master, take shelter of a teacher, to take up the process of transcendental knowledge, because it's a field we are not adjusted, we are not expert. Like you go to university, then you learn from professor to learn a certain science. So we learn the science of bhakti in the disciplic succession from teachers who are revealing us this truth. Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnaninas tatvadarshina. This is actually an very old process, already delivered. The original guru is Krishna. He reveals this ancient science of self-realization and realization about the Lord, Vijnana, to Brahma. Brahma is the first created being in the universe, and he was very open, he was very curious to understand the truth, the tattva. So Krishna, after a long time of tapasya, austerity, self-control, Brahma became qualified to hear the Lord, and later on could see the Lord, perceive the Lord eye to eye, because his senses become purified by coming in contact with the transcendental sound. Transcendental sound is very powerful. Sound in general is very powerful. So we have to hear the transcendental sound. People are adjusted to hear material sound, because we have a taste in certain hearing about certain messages of the material world. We have very open mind and ears to perceive and to absorb this knowledge. If it is pleasurable or not pleasurable, doesn't matter. Main thing gives some sensation to our mind and to our senses, so that we become, I would say, informed. We feel ourselves informed, informed about life. But if it is concerned about the spiritual subject matter, we fall asleep or become uninterested, because it doesn't give us immediately a sensation, because the soul is still too much covered, our mind is too much covered by material impressions, samskaras from many lifetimes, and from these lifetimes became so much covered by ignorance and passion and so many wrong conceptions of life. And from this we have to first become freed. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada, he says, just by intellectual study, also he points out in the scripture, by going to a school or university to learn about Vedic knowledge or any spiritual knowledge, it cannot transform your mind. You maybe become an expert theologian or Sanskrit professor, PhD, an expert of a certain field of this Vedic knowledge or of a certain religion, but that doesn't mean that we become realized. You teach it, but in a very dry way. Like there's the example given, story of Lord Chaitanya. Actually, before Lord Chaitanya took birth or appeared in this world, many of his associates appeared in Navadvip, like Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, Haridas Thakur. There are some who appeared before Lord Chaitanya. They were great devotees already. They actually appeared before him to prepare for Lord Chaitanya's appearance, to receive him, because when the Lord comes, somebody should receive him. But the Vaishnavas were very unhappy in that time, because most of the followers of the Vedas and of the even Brahminical class, were not interested in bhakti. They were only interested in karma, in some jnana, and especially in karma kandya, to worship certain demigods, to please them, to get material benedictions from them. So they worship Durga, Chandi, or whatever name they had for the goddess. Bengal is famous, they worship the Devi, the goddess Durga or Kali, because she is like mother. She gives very much protection and fulfilling the children's all demands and desires. And for so many they actually appreciate to take shelter in Kali or Durga. Now is Kali Puja, Durga Puja for 9 days. We are middle in it. So those were followers of the Hindu culture. They follow this 9-day Durga Puja, and also fasting during the whole day. Only in the night they eat a little, and then again the next day they fast, and they do worshipping of Durga, visiting Durga temple, like that. So Durga is very popular all over India. She has many different names. And in Bengal, also many people, and before Lord Chaitanya appeared, they were Durga worshippers. Even now, they're very much absorbed in Durga Puja and absorbed in as devotee of Durga. Shakta, they're called Shaktas. So the Vaishnavas, Advaita Acharya, Haridas, Srivas, they were very sad because people didn't show any interest in bhakti, in worshipping of Vishnu or Krishna, like that. Nobody chanted the holy name. So they were crying for the Lord, please come. Only you can change the heart. You only can create a revolution and make a change in the consciousness of the people by your merciful appearance. Like if the world is in darkness, only the sun, when the morning rises, it sheds the light, and then everyone becomes happy, even without thinking. You don't have to think when the sun rises, oh, now I'm happy now or I'm not happy. I see now or I don't see. It's natural. So it's natural when the sun rises, everything becomes enlightened. And if the sun is not visible, then we are in darkness. We have to make some artificial light. But when the sun is here, everything becomes clear. Niharam iva bhaskara. That's also stated in the Bhagavad-Gita. Kechi kevala bhaktya vasudeva parayana. As soon the holy name, Krishna Nam appears, or this Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha appears, the transcendental sound of the Lord appears in this world. It is as brilliant as the sun, and it is removing by the first sun rays already. What to speak when the whole sun is appearing on the sky, just by the sunrise of the holy name, darkness and the fog, all these coverings, who is keeping us away from the darshan of the Lord, become removed, and we can see the sun. And by seeing the sun, we can see ourselves and everything around us. Even materially, we cannot see with our eyes without the sun. Therefore, we need sun, we need light. Even if we say, oh, I can see with artificial light, but this light also comes from electricity, and electricity ultimately comes from the sun. Comes from the heat element. So therefore, without this light element, the sun, and fire, Agni, we have no vision. So vision and Agni and Surya, this element, these devas, They are actually representing God, Krishna Bhagavan in this material world. They are as worshipable as the Lord, if one sees them in relation with the Lord. But the materialists, they only enjoy the sun and the fire and all these different elements what God is supplying to us. But and so in this way we become like thieves. We're exploiting that. Instead, that we use these elements of the material creation for the benefit of the soul, to enlighten the soul, to come to Krishna consciousness, to come to our original position as an eternal servant of Krishna. So for that we need help. We need help externally. Somebody who gives the light, shedding the light like the sun. So, spiritual master, the acharyas, our previous acharyas, the holy scriptures, the holy name, they're giving us this, they're shedding us this light, so that we can see in which direction to go. So Advaita Acharya and others, they were praying, my Lord, please appear, make the change in the world. So therefore, on their request, the Lord Chaitanya appeared in the Kali Yuga as the most merciful avatar to dissipate the darkness of ignorance. Self-realization in before Lord Chaitanya appeared was very difficult. You had to go all through these Vedic techniques of empiric way, how to purify yourself. By meditation, by austerity, by following strictly these Vedic rules and regulations. It's a very long process, very enduring process, sometimes going for many lifetimes. We cannot do it in one lifetime. But Lord Chaitanya made it so easy, so merciful. He gave us just the process of Harinam. He was not even the Bhagavatam or Vedic scriptures, he told, it's not for everyone. Because many people cannot understand Vedic knowledge. Therefore, he introduced just Harinam. And only with some scholarly people, like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sanatana Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami, the Mayavadis in Benares, Vedantists. They were Vedantists, first class Vedantists. Vedantists mostly are monists. They don't their goal is not bhakti. The goal is just merging with the Lord, becoming God yourself. But they're very scholarly. So Lord Chaitanya spoke about Vedic knowledge to them and about Bhagavatam to them, or with very confidential devotees like Gadadhar Pandit. He was reciting every day the Srimad Bhagavatam in Jagannath-puri. Loud chanting is better than reading, Prabhupada says in the purport of first canto, first chapter, text 8 or 9, somewhere there, in the very beginning where Suta Goswami speaks. It's our sages of Naimisharanya who complimented, who congratulated Suta Goswami, accepting him as a teacher to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from him. So there Prabhupada says loud chanting, hearing is more important, is more essential for realizing Krishna consciousness. It's very difficult just by studying, or by self-study, or by studying in a school. But just by hearing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, gradually heart become purified. Sevo mukha hi jivado. By hearing, vibrating the tongue, by chanting holy name, and by accepting and relishing Krishna Prasadam. Actually, Krishna Prasadam we should not eat, we should respect, we should relish. Therefore, we should not speak during Prasadam. We should not hear anything during Prasadam, we should only relish the Prasadam and see Krishna in it. That is the meaning of prasadam, the mercy. Who of us is aware when we have prasadam that is always Krishna and always absorbing and relishing the prasadam? Anytime we just swallow, don't even chewing properly, and because you don't chew properly, you cannot relish. And then we ask after it, why I become more and more chubby, why I become more and more big belly, why I feel tired, why I don't get any nourishment and satisfaction, because we don't relish. We didn't learn how to relish, even the prasadam. So Krishna prasadam is the first thing to relish. Holy name is the first thing also to relish. Because it's easily nice melodies. Of course, many times we just relish melody, but not the holy name. Many times Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he emphasized, it's not important the melody, it's important the holy name. Of course, nowadays we have to pack the holy name in melody, and even with many instruments who are like because holy name is like a murti, like a deity. Rasa vigraha, full of relishment, full of rasa, full of transcendental mellow. And the different instruments are just like his dress and decoration, shringar of the holy name. So dressed and I would say nicely decorated with the holy name, the holy name becomes very attractive. Although the holy name itself is already attractive, for somebody who is relishing of holy name, he can, even without musical presentations, immediately he feels ecstasy by hearing the holy name. So that's what Lord Chaitanya's program, hearing, chanting, holy name, hearing Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna Katha, Srinvatang Svakatha, Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. Because by Krishna, by this transcendental sound, even without extra endeavor, we become benefited, we become purified, and we become realized. It becomes nectar. Of course, it needs attention, it needs absorption. Like if you eat something nice, we can absorb. At least for the first 5 minutes, first bites, we can absorb very much. And it becomes also ritualistic, just chewing and swallowing it and finish up the feast or prasadam. But chewing it and relishing it and absorbing in it all the time. So this is that's our process. And Lord Chaitanya, he brought this process on request of his devotees. And so, before Lord Chaitanya appeared, there was Srivas Thakur. He went through the roads of Navadvip. And he was such a devotee. As soon as you heard Bhagavad-Gita or Krishna Nam, all kinds of ecstatic symptoms appeared in his mind and in his body. So he became naturally very happy. He started to laugh, claps the hands. The hairs, bodily hairs are rising, erect, shivering, like that. So many bhava symptoms, asta sattvika bhava symptoms appeared in his body. Even before Lord Chaitanya appeared. He also, because he's Narad Muni, who appeared to assist Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, in his Sankirtan mission. So there was a Bhagavad-Gita, as a Bhagavad school of Devananda Pandit in Navadvip, nowadays city. Previously, this place is called Kulinagram. Kulinagram. It's the place where the offenses are forgiven. Because if Lord Chaitanya didn't show any mercy to the offenders, to the aparadis, to the pashandis, Lord Chaitanya told everyone who is denying the Lord and who are offending the Lord, and especially the Vaishnavas, and the holy name of the Lord, they're Pashandi, they're offenders. And they never get the mercy. He was not ready to give them mercy. But Navadvip, Kulinagram, is the place where the offenses are forgiven. That is Dameshwara, Mahaprabhu. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is there, Dameshwar. Hands is not like that, hand is not like that, the hands is like that. That means he's freely giving. That means hands like that, Chief Jago, surrender. Living souls, wake up, surrender, chant the holy name. This is the meaning. Therefore we worship Chaitanya Nityananda with raised hand mostly, because first we have to wake up from sleeping souls to come to consciousness, to receive, that we are able to receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. That means one hand like that and one hand like that. There's only one way, surrender unto me. So one way, here, surrender unto me. Don't fear, I will protect you. That's the hand here. And when Lord Chaitanya is in this mood, many times also Lord Nityananda or Gadadhar we see in this mood, that means no condition. Freely they distribute love to God without consideration who is old, who is young, who is educated, who is illiterate, who is a child, man, woman, outcast, higher class, caste. They were not looking at that. That means they completely transcended this external, I would say, duality, just by chanting and spreading the holy name freely to everyone. Because the understanding is everyone is a spirit soul and everyone is an eternal servant of Krishna. According to your karma, you have different bodies. And as it is stated in Harinam Chintamani, the moving and the non-moving living entities, the Stavara and Jangama, become benefited by chanting the holy name. Even the trees, even the stones, everything becomes benefited by chanting the holy name. Therefore, loud chanting, Prabhupada says, is better than meditation. It's also in Priya Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Goswami makes the point. Loud chanting is more important than meditation or soft chanting, because the soft chanting of japa and meditation, dharana or dhyana, is for your benefit, is for my benefit. But kirtan or sankirtan is for everyone's benefit. That means you become benefited and everyone around you becomes also benefited. Not only the interesting audience, not only the interested audience, but also the uninterested. Or even those who are dull, like the trees and stones and animals. Everyone becomes benefited by chanting, loud chanting of the holy name. Loud chanting of holy name means sankirtan. Sankirtan also means complete absorption in the holy name, either in a group of devotees or by yourself, absorbed in chanting. And then suddenly, out of ecstasy, you're calling out some of very dear names to you who remind you about Krishna's leelas and pastimes, and you become very jubilant, you start to sing and to dance. That is Sankirtan. And that is what Lord Chaitanya brought us. That's the main process what we should always do, to become more and more absorbed in Sankirtan. That means in complete absorption in Krishna's holy names. Krishna has so many holy names, and he gives us this opportunity to somehow or other chant his holy name to become attracted to him. So he was such a devotee. As soon he heard holy name, as soon he heard some verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, he immediately rushed there and sat down and started to listen. But there was a problem. Because all the students of Devananda Pandit, who was a professional Sanskrit and Bhagavatam teacher, a Bhagavad-acharya, they were not interested in the rasa subject of Bhagavatam. They were only interested in the scholarship of Bhagavatam. Just make a diploma of Bhagavatam. But just to make a diploma of Bhagavatam doesn't mean that you are a Bhagavatam acharya. The Bhagavad-acharya has to be realized, like Srila Prabhupada. Like all our previous acharya commentators of Bhagavatam, they're realized in the Bhagavatam. And therefore they can make commentary to Bhagavatam for the benefit of others, because they're realized. That don't make it just out of an academic study. As Prabhupada is pointing out in the purport in the Bhagavad-Gita here, because if you go too much in academic systematic study of scriptures, and many scriptures, you maybe become confused because of so-called contradictions. Of course, a Rasika or somebody who has a relishing Bhagavatam and the holy name, there's no contradiction. Contradiction is only in the mind. If the mind is free and you are absorbed and relish Krishna conscious subject matters, then you just go to the essence, not in details. Details, there may be some contradictions, sometimes differ from other statements, but that is not a problem. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, there are two kinds of levels of understanding Bhagavatam, the historical and the tattva. And of course, above tattva is rasa. So historically maybe, and I would say geographical, universal geographics, like that also. Maybe it can be vague, not maybe exactly exact. No. But the tattva, about what Krishna teaching us, what Guru Parampara is teaching us about the soul, about Krishna, about our relationship with Krishna, this is eternal. We cannot challenge. Tattva cannot be challenged. Rasa cannot be challenged. Therefore, tattva can only be realized by hearing from authority who is realized in the tattva. And from that, the taste will come, relishing will come from that. First, we have to have our mind and senses and intellect and words all engaged in this tattva of Krishna consciousness. Then rasa, relishment will come. So Srivas Thakur, he relished this very much. These other students who want to become all professors of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-acharyas, to study Bhagavatam, they could not relish. They rather felt disturbed when they saw Srivas Thakur's ecstatic symptoms. They could not understand. Because the teacher didn't teach them, emphasize that this is actually the goal. Lord Chaitanya told Lord Chaitanya told to the Mayavadi monists, Vedantists of Benares, Varanasi, Prakashananda. Because Prakashananda was very wondering. He was very much wondered, why you're singing and dancing? You're a sannyasi. You should not chant and dance like sentimentalist. This is not proper for a sannyasi. You should sit down in a solitary place and study Vedanta. Or come to our school, Vedanta school. Become a dry philosopher like we are. So why you're doing that? Lord Chaitanya humbly said, my Guru Maharaj, he told me I'm a fool. Therefore I should not study Vedanta. I should only chant Harinam. I should chant holy name. Because if I chant the holy name, everything will come from that chanting. And I had full faith in the instruction of my spiritual master. And then one time when I was chanting, I felt very much ecstatic. Cry, tears fell down, I started to shiver, to dance, without looking what others' opinions are. And also not to impress just others, because I didn't make a show. It came automatically, natural. Chanting is natural. This dancing, singing is very natural if one chants purely, with relish. So I became bewildered, Lord Chaitanya said. So I went back to my Guru. I asked him, Guru Maharaj, what kind of mantra you have given me? Since I chant this mantra, it seems to me I became crazy. So Guru told him, my dear son, my dear child, actually I'm very happy that you revealed, that you relished this and experienced the symptoms of the holy name, of chanting the holy name, because that's the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that everyone, or the devotee who is chanting the holy name purely, he will become ecstatic and he will naturally sing and dance, laugh and cry and roll on the ground without looking about external opinions. You pleased me very much. This is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse from the 11th canto, 2nd chapter. This verse describing the effects of hearing submissively and the holy name of Krishna. So that was not taught by the Bhagavad-acharya. So what happened? The disciples threw him out. They threw Srivas Thakur out of the assembly, from the courtyard where the school happened. Mostly it's a Durga mandap, place where they worship Durga, and there's an outside of the house a place like a courtyard, like we have here in the temple where we have Guru Puja now. So that's where many places in India and in Bengal they have the school, where every interested person could come and learn the subject of Bhagavatam, like that. So Srivas was very sad that he was put outside of the school as somebody who was unattentive or not qualified to be in the Bhagavatam class, although he was the only qualified. But he didn't got upset. He didn't went in and say, "You don't know who I am?" He accepted it. Of course, he was sad. He could not hear Bhagavatam anymore because it reminded him about Krishna. A devotee is always eager. Whatever reminds him about Krishna, he goes. But then he was deprived of it, so he cried. Lord Chaitanya, he knew about that. He was super soul in everyone's heart, especially in pure devotee's heart, like Srivas Thakur. So when Lord Chaitanya many years later appeared, and one time he met Devananda Pandit, the same scholar of Bhagavatam, on the road in Navadvip, he chastised him. Lord Chaitanya chastised him severely. what kind of Bhagavad Acharya you are. You call yourself Acharya Bhagavad, although you don't know what is actually the goal and the meaning of Bhagavatam. To relish, to realize, not just studying, not just scientific studying or scholarly studying, the slokas and the verses. That's not the meaning of it. This is external. One has to go deeper and deeper, but you are unqualified. But you're teaching others who are also unqualified. And you offended one great devotee many years ago, Srivas Thakur. He's my devotee. You offended him. Actually, you didn't offend him directly, but you supported, you didn't stop the disciples to throw him out. And therefore, it's your fault too. And I tell you, you will never get mercy without the mercy of a Bhagavata devotee. You need Bhagavata devotee kripa. If you don't have Bhagavata devotee kripa, Bhagavatam is not relished. But if you have the mercy of such a devotee, then naturally Bhagavatam will reveal in your heart, will appear in your heart like the sunrise. So Lord Chaitanya, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, there's quite a long episode how Lord Chaitanya chastised him with many arguments and quotes from scriptures. Why you are not properly acting as an acharya of the Bhagavatam. Call yourself like that. So, but this Devananda, he was ultimately very fortunate. There was he remembered the advice of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya advised him, you have to do seva to Bhagavata devotee. Vaishnava seva, humble seva. Then you will become recognized by the Lord. And then you get, if you have His mercy, the Bhagavatam and the whole mystery of Bhagavatam, the Sara Hasya of Bhagavatam, and the Guyatamam secret of the Bhagavatam will become revealed in your heart. Like by Brahma, because Krishna was pleased with Brahma, therefore he enlightened him. He gave him this knowledge. And also the realization of this knowledge, how to apply it in his life and in his creative work in his life without becoming entangled in it. In the knowledge and also not in the creation. We should not become entangled. Because if knowledge is only staying in the mind and does not become digested and realized, it just makes you crazy. It bewilders you. And then we can not grasp the essence. So, but to grasp the essence and to understand the essence of Bhagavatam, of the Bhagavad school, is actually very easy. We have to serve the Vaishnava devotee. Because by this humble service of Vaishnava devotee, one gets the mercy of the Lord. So there was one great devotee of Lord Chaitanya in Navadvip, Prakashvar Pandit. Maybe heard about him, Prakashvar Pandit. He was a great dancer, kirtan dancer. Because of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan party, there were just those who were dancers, those who were kirtaniyas, singers, and those who are musicians, mridanga players, kartal players. And everyone else is just repeating what they hear and participating in the kirtan. So kirtan always needs a leader of singer, chanter, needs dancer, who inspires everyone else to dance. Not artificial, but in a natural way they dance, in a very gracious and enthusiastic way, absorbed in love to Krishna, so that everyone else became affected. So Prakashvar Pandit, he was such an ecstatic dancer that he danced 72 hours non-stop. 3 days, 3 times 24 hours. He was dancing in a mandap, in a kirtan place where there was a Sankirtan festival. And thousands of people rushed in because people are very eager to always touch sadhu and come near to him. But they also disturbed the sadhu because the sadhu wanted to dance. He was so in ecstasy to dance in the kirtan. But more and more people rushed in, and there was less and less place to dance. So Devananda Pandit, he observed that, and he went there, and he kept the crew of people away from the devotees so that they don't disturb him. And just by that service of keeping the crowd away from the disturbance, who disturbed the dance of Prakashvar Pandit, he got the full mercy of Lord Chaitanya. All his offenses were forgiven. And now he's one of the Lord Gauranga's associates in Navadip. In the list of Kaviraj Goswami and Chaitanya Charitamrita, he gives the whole list, of all the dear devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Devananda Pandit is also there. Although first he was just a dry Bhagavad scholar. He was not devotee. He studied Bhagavatam without devotion. Because to study Bhagavatam and also Bhagavad-Gita means devotion is needed. Surrender. Otherwise very difficult to relish, to understand. You maybe become scholarly, but it will not relish. It will not realize. So therefore we have to chant, hearing loudly, and with a service attitude. Srila Prabhupada says, with a service attitude to the Vaishnavas, not enjoyer attitude. Now I'm the relisher, I'm the enjoyer. I want to intellectually enjoy the Bhagavatam now. I want to melodiously control and enjoy the holy name now. Then no relish, no real absorption. It's only show. So this bhakti is great mystery. It's great mystery. It's only revealed by the humble service attitude. Sevo mukhe hi jivado svayam eva sparatyada. Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasma paratram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. So devotional service comes from the word aradhanam, from engaging in devotional service. Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param. The best worship of Krishna is Krishna or Vishnu. But better than that, Shiva says to his wife Parvati, is to worship Tadiya. Tadiya. Tadiya means that what is very dear to the Lord. What is dear to the Lord? The Vaishnavas. And who is Vaishnava? Those who, once they ask Lord Chaitanya, who is Vaishnava? Lord Chaitanya says, those who chant the holy name of Krishna, they are Vaishnava. So we should associate and serve those who are chanting holy name, who are absorbed in devotional service, who have seva, service attitude. And if we are associating with them, we can actually get the mercy, we can become benefited. Therefore it's so much important. So much important to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with other devotees together, to worship Guru with other devotees together, to come to Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-Gita and speak and hear, chant about this book of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad-Gita. So if we are doing it together, this is more powerful than only the studying or absorption by ourselves. And the result is even bigger than by meditation. In other ages that was the process, but in this age of Kali, Lord Chaitanya especially brought us this holy name, chanting, if possible, here also about Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, sing and dance in front of the deities. This is the most important function we have to do now, a daily sadhana. So in this way, with the time, we become very much purified and also realized in this process of devotional service. It's Bhagavad Marg. Pancharatrika Vidhi is temple life. Bhagavad Marg is hearing chanting about Krishna, loud chanting. Bhagavad Marg is more important, although Pancharatrika is also important. So Prabhupada introduced this parallel lines to hear, to serve in the temple, and also to Bhagavad, Marg, chanting holy name, Bhagavatam, serving the Bhagavatam. So therefore, like as Bhaktivinoda Thakur also told in Tata Kaustuba, then there are three kinds of processes to attain liberation. One is karma yoga, other one is jnana yoga, another one is bhakti yoga. The goal is the same. Ultimately, everyone wants to attain liberation, but the ultimate result is not the same. Techniques are also more or less the same. It needs to be self-control, mind control, and to be focused on the absolute truth. In the beginning stage, you have to work without being attached, karma without attachment. Then others are maybe come to the platform where they become absorbed in jnana, in knowledge, without attachment, without just selfishness, but for the understanding and pleasure of the Lord. And bhakti ultimately to engage in devotional service with all the senses and mind, in hearing, chanting. So all three processes, when they focus with the Lord, is bhakti yoga. If karma and jnana yoga is not linked with bhakti yoga, they're actually useless. It's just hard labor without big result. But if bhakti is in the center, even also for karma, for the jnana, and for the bhakta sowieso, bhakti yoga. Bhakti is, Krishna is the center. Devotional service is the center. Hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna, that's the center. Then that's perfect. That's actually the meaning of this 6th chapter, already beginning in the end of the 5th chapter. To bring the listener from the process of karma without attachment to the jnana. Jnana means absorption in the knowledge with the help of intelligence, in the focus on the self, to realize the self and ultimately also the super self. That means the super soul. And in this way, this whole yoga is actually meant to realize Krishna ultimately. So, and by Lord Chaitanya and by Srila Prabhupada mercy, we have now this opportunity. We have direct. We don't have to go through all these different processes of karma yoga, jnana yoga, astanga yoga. We can go directly to bhakti yoga, although we are not trained in this school, in this discipline. We all come from not from this background mostly, especially those from the West. From India, I don't know. We have maybe already some sukriti in this direction, but for anyone, this bhakti is applicable or applicable, and so the mercy is causeless. It came, so we just have to take it and apply it in our life faithfully, and then it will happen. Day by day, even without that, we have to observe ourselves, how much I'm advanced now, how much I'm blissful now, how much I'm realized. It will become natural. So I stop here. Hare Krishna, praise the Prabhupada. Any question?
I'm curious how you can relish prasadam when you are in association with others without talking. I'm curious how you can relish prasadam in this association with others without talking.
Yeah, one should not talk.
But
Prasadam, eating.
It's a little weird sometimes.
Eating. The only thing what you can talk is chanting holy name.
So if you have yes, you just say okay, silent, we eating,
Yeah, relish. You should not speak during eating. You have to learn to do everything concentrated in consciousness. Like a puchari, you should not speak during puja. It's mauna. A cook also should actually be a mauna. You should not speak you should be concentrated. Book distributor, you cannot just contemplate going in all directions and speaking blah 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 and think you can distribute books. So you have to be focused. Whatever you do, you have to focus. And from there, intelligence and power and relishment will come. Otherwise not. Then you eat mechanically, but you don't relish. In the end you are full, but it's just a lot of food in the belly and maybe some problem, if you don't relish. Because food is rasa, it's taste. So if you don't taste Krishna Prasadam, because you are speaking, you have more taste in speaking, then how you can relish? Because bhakti-yoga starts with seva mukhe hi jivado, engaging the tongue by relishing Krishna Prasadam. It's bad habit, I know we have bad habits. We have so many bad habits in bhakti yoga also. We have so many bad habits we gave up from before we joined, but then we accumulated so many new bad habits during the practice. And that we also have to learn how to recognize and give it up. Hare Krishna, Lord Prabhupada. Thank you very much.